Hi, I'm Paul from Motorcycles of Greensboro.
So what is this bike that we're standing in front of today?
This is my new Hypermoto RVE, and I love it.
All right, so this is a 2024 Ducati Hypermoto.
In the 90s, Ducati made a limited edition, very special motorcycle called the Supermoto. And they made it in 2 versions and a few dozen of each, and it is a absolutely prized machine. Hypermoto is sort of a modern iteration of that motor.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on one of the twins.
It looks like a smaller version of the 950, the Hypermotard 950. Narrower seat.
Really compressed.
Everything feels looks a little compact. And it's got a single cylinder, 650-ish cc, puts out 77.5 horsepower. I've seen one, I noticed one big difference from the regular Hypermotard.
Yeah.
The dash. It's much smaller. But it does have...
Sure, because we want everything to be lighter and smaller.
Smaller.
And with the wheelie control, if you had a big dash, harder to look around.
Harder to look around, yeah. Sticker price, like, what does it start from? Like 13 or 14? Oh, no, this is the RVE, so 14,995, something like that?
Something like that. The base model starts at $12,995.
Yeah. So, but you get...
So these are definitely mid-priced, and they're quite a savings over some of the Ducatis.
Some of the premium Ducatis, yes.
But
yeah, she looks pretty. And like when I do a walk around, I'll show you that she's got a mark on her forehead, like the Simba. I like stuff like that. But yeah,
you're number one with me.
Yes. Enough talking, man. You mind if I do a quick walk around?
Sure, absolutely. Go for it.
So starting off from the front of the bike, it's got those beautiful LED DRLs, a nice high beak, and the golden shocks. Haha, all like it. Single disc up front, that's a 330 millimeter front single disc. And this bike has a 26-degree rake angle. What's a rake angle, you ask? Draw perpendicular from the steering mount for the fork tube. That's your rake angle. Shorter the rake angle, the more nimble the bike is, and larger the rake angle, the more stable it is at higher speeds, highway speeds, and such. And look at that, it's got the single cylinder there, the 650-odd cc engine that puts out 77.5 horsepower and 46.5 foot-pound of torque. Beautiful, clear swing arm. And it's just a very clean design, if you ask me. Clean cut look, and of course it has to be in the Ducati red. And looking at it from the back, it's got the tail light, turn signals down below, license plate holder, and those high mount exhaust coming out. And take a closer look at that swing arm. Looks really cool, looks really cool. And it's got a single disc at the back as well, I think 245 millimeters. Of course, it's a Ducati, so chain drive. So it's got traction control, wheelie control, riding modes, and all that fun stuff we'll show you in a bit. As for the seat, it's a beautiful narrow one-piece seat. Fuel tank that holds about 3 gallons of fuel. Let's take a look at the handlebars. You have the beautiful mirrors, passing lights up top, the button for your high beams, low beams. This is to toggle through the menu, your mode selector, turn signal, and horn at the bottom. As for handlebar controls on your right, it's the kill switch and starter, your DRL lights, and the hazard. Now let's take a look at the cockpit on the dashboard. This does not have keyless ignition. This has a good old-fashioned key here. So slide it in, twist it, turn it on, and boom. So you have warning lights on both sides. That's your shift light. As for the information available here, you have your tachometer, your speedometer, which gear you're on, which riding mode you're on, and a bunch of information that you can toggle through here. So you have your outside temperature, settings, time, traction control level, wheelie level, ABS level, all of that, and your odometer, trip 1, trip 2, all that fun stuff. Now let's go into the settings menu. So you have your riding modes, you have your lights, DRLs, your pin code, clock, date, service intervals, units, etc. So if you wanted to change your riding mode, you go in there, and these are your options. You have sport, road, urban, and wet. Pretty nice. So when we start, we will start off in wet mode. So I'm gonna just select that. And you can, once you do that, you can select how much power you want. Power is low, traction control, ABS. You can select all those different levels. That's pretty cool. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and I like it. How's the seating position on the bike? I am a 5'10", 31-inch inseam. I'm kind of on the balls of my feet. Not quite tippy toes, but not flat footing, most definitely. So this is Motorcycles of Greensboro. Come on down, check them out. I'll put their website link in the video description below. And who should they say sent them to you so that they know they're part of
Bhroman Braapsody, of course.
Yes, and that way you'll be part of this dysfunctional family that we have here. Hey Paul, do you know what time it is?
It's right o'clock.
It's right o'clock. Let's go. Go ahead and start her up. Oh, sounds like a thumper. Throaty. Alright guys, so if you're new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. We put out content every week and your support would mean a lot. And let's get right into our first test. Let's make a couple of U-turns and see how this puppy maneuvers, shall we? Oh yeah, small bike, light bike. Yeah, U-turns are no problem. Like, you know, you can lock the handlebars in and U-turns. Very, very, very easy. Yeah, boy. Which means it's time to do our second test, which is the pull test. I think I have it in sport mode, so let's go. Definitely a lot of character. Oh, that engine and exhaust sound so good. Oh wow, this is a quick little bugger. Don't let its size fool you. Don't let its size fool you. So let's talk about the first impressions of this motorcycle. I've started this ride in wet mode. So wet mode is where all of your nanny systems are going to be at its highest settings. Traction control, ABS, wheelie control, all of that. So it's going to make sure that, you know, that you don't get into trouble, and feels like it's so far, like you have to really twist its throttle for it to respond. And perfect timings. Look, a stop sign. Front brakes only. Pretty strong brakes. Again, can't really flat foot the bike, but on the balls of my feet, not quite on the tippy toes. And the first impressions are just that, like I'm sitting up so high and there's not a big fairing in front of me, but a little bit here, so you kind of feel like you're floating. Oh, this is nice. The seat, although it's narrow, it's not uncomfortable in the first half a mile. Gives you a good amount of support to your butt, and my legs are not bent weirdly at all. I'm sitting quite comfortably. Now, wind protection, there is none. No fairing, no windshields. I'm getting blasted by a lot of wind on my upper body, lower body, everywhere. But it's a nicer day today. I think temps are in the 70s or so, which is great. On days like today, it feels great. Ooh, look at those brakes, man. Oh, these are nice brakes. Now, this is not the RVE that I'm riding. This is the demo bike, so this is just the base Hypermono. And the only difference is you don't get the quick shifter and a couple of other doodads here or there. But yeah, I like that soundtrack. Yeah, I like that soundtrack. Now, you guys know on this channel that I love the sound and characteristics of a V-twin, but this isn't bad. Alright, so let's see if we can change modes on the fly. We can. So let's go into urban. Yes, we need to close throttle, and boom, we are in urban mode. I think in all these modes it changes the power mapping and stuff to a certain extent. Oh yeah, urban is a little more happier and peppier. Yeah, so urban mode is much more responsive than wet mode, which is how it should be. Yeah, the power is more instantaneous than in wet mode. Oh wow, yeah. This is a fun little bike. Yeah, this is a fun little bike. I don't know, like anytime I ride one of these bikes, it just puts such a stupid grin on my face, and I just keep laughing like a child. And look at the balance, man. Dang, really light and really well balanced, man. That so that's been urban mode's been pretty fun. So let's see if we can go into street. Close throttle. That should bring in street mode. Alright, so let's downshift a little bit. Oh, so street mode is more fun than urban mode. Well, duh. Oh wow, man, this bike is fun, man. It's just stupid and it's fun. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me, but this is fun. It's like if my cafe racer, my scrambler cafe racer was on steroids. This is how it would feel. I think my cafe racer makes a little more horsepower than this bike, but this weighs a lot less than the cafe racer. And the cafe racer is fun, but this is a whole different kind of fun. This is like stupid fun. Alright, that means we have to go into sport mode, because why not? And I really wanted to show you guys the rolling pull test in sport mode. So let's go down to like third gear. We're doing 34, and you give it gas. Wow, wow. Like yeah, it's quick. It's quick. Like, it's not. So when I say it's quick, it's not as punch you in the gut kind of fast like a Panigale is or the Street Fighters are. It's very different kind of quick. Like, it's so light, it's ridiculously quick. And you're like, what the heck am I doing? Yeah, this bike is gonna transform you into a hooligan. There's no two ways to it. Alright, so let's rank the riding modes. So sport mode is the funnest mode. Then it's actually ranked in the way it shows up. It's sport is the funnest, then road, then urban, and then lastly wet. But wet is by design to not let you get in trouble. And look at this bike, man. It's so well planted, going around corners and stuff. Oh, holy crap, man. It's so light, and it's just so much fun to just throw it around corners and curves and just, you know, be a hooligan. I'm a hooligan, y'all. Wow, just wow. I don't have words to describe it other than just damn wow. I'm having way too much fun with this bike, man. What a fantastic little bike. What a fantastic little bike. So I wasn't really sure what I'd feel about this bike when I came down to film it. And yeah, this bike has just been like, holy crap. Sometimes, you know, less is more. And this is a prime example of that, where less is actually more. Alright, so let's go ahead and answer our important questions. Now, is this a good bike for commuting? Well, for commuting, I'd say yeah. As long as you're not I'd say yeah, it's decent, it's good for commuting. As long as I'd say, is this a good bike for commuting? I think it's gonna be a good bike for commuting, especially if you don't take the interstates or the highways. If you're taking back roads and urban roads, you'll be fine. And there is no storage space, so you'd have to carry your stuff in a backpack. If you're okay doing that, then yeah, great, it's gonna be fun for commuting. No doubt. Is this a good bike for touring? No, this is not a touring bike. No wind protection, no place for luggage and stuff. This is a really teeny tiny, it's a really small fuel tank. And yeah, no, I would not say this is a bike for touring. Now keep in mind the seat is quite narrow, and while it's comfy on a short jaunt, I don't think it's going to be comfortable for a long haul at all. So nope, this is not a bike for touring. Now, is this a bike for beginners? Is it a good bike for beginners? So this is not a solid yes or a solid no in this category for me. This could potentially be a great bike for beginners if you have some throttle control, and this, or you can learn about throttle control on this bike. There's a little, if you do anything stupid, oh yeah, you're gonna be in some trouble. But then you have all the electronics, the wheelie controls and assist and stuff that's to keep you safe and designed to keep you safe. So a part of me wants to say yes, this is going to be a great bike for beginners, but again, riding this bike and seeing what it's capable of, I'm gonna stick to a maybe. It might be a good bike for beginners. Now you'd have to be a little tall for this bike with a 35.6 inch seat height, and then there's a price tag at like, it's almost 12 to 15,000. Is that very beginner friendly? I don't know, but it has the potential to be a great beginner bike. You're gonna learn so much about throttle control and leaning and stuff like that, and it's a light bike. You're gonna have so much fun with it. But what about the cost of ownership, bro, man? What about the cost of ownership? So, in conclusion, you know, this bike is just so light. It's just so light. It looks narrow, it feels narrow, and you might think it's a thumper with only 77 horses, whatever. No, but those 77 horses are the most funnest horses. Now, since this bike is light and it's small and it's compact, oh wow, it just puts such a stupid grin on your face. I mean, I've been grinning and laughing and giggling this whole damn time, man. Now, this is not going to be as fast as like some of the Panigales and stuff, or the super sport bikes that I'm used to, but this is quick, and this is just that stupid quick. It's got character. The thumper has character. That exhaust has character. If you get the aftermarket exhaust, even better. I don't know, but yeah, this is a great fun bike. This is a bike that you're gonna have so much fun with, and just stupid fun with. And no, it's not a bike that you're gonna take on for touring on the interstates, and yeah, you could commute on it. And this is one of those bikes, man. It's for beginners. It could be a good or a great bike for beginners because it's light and it's not super powerful, or it could be a lot of trouble for beginners because it can do this. So it all comes down to the kind of rider you are as a beginner. If you have throttle control, it's going to be great. Otherwise, maybe not. You might think it's underpowered or whatever. No, but even for experienced riders, this can be so much fun. Just so much fun. So yeah, if you want to check this bike out, head on down to your closest Ducati dealership and take one out for a spin, or come on down to Motorcycles of Greensboro. Tell them the Bhroman sent you and take one of these out for a spin and check it out. Well, thanks for watching, you guys. Keep your knees in the breeze, and I'll see you soon. Bro out.